Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to start off with my houseplant tour today. Today all the plants are living in western exposed windows, and I'm just splitting up my tours depending on the type of light they're getting in order to give you a better idea of what plants thrive in different lighting conditions. And I do have a lot of plants, so I feel like when I go through every single plant in my house, it's just very overwhelming and I feel rushed. So that's why I'm splitting up my tours like this. And the next videos to come will be northern and eastern exposed plants, and then I'll do shelf plants like the one I have right there. So I'll tell you what plants thrive sitting on a shelf with indirect light. All right, so if that sounds like something you're interested in, just keep on watching and we'll get into the tour. This is the first plant I'm starting with. This is the Pilea. Probably pronouncing it wrong. I still don't know how to pronounce it correctly. And you might be wondering what all this white stuff is. So I've been having a really bad pest problem, and that is diatomaceous earth. And I'm going to do a complete video on what it is and how it is a great pest control, and it's a natural pest control. But I have just applied it to all my plants, and it basically is going to kill any crawling insects like aphids, spider mite, thrips, things like that. But that's what the white stuff is on all my plants, so just be warned, it's gonna look a little bit weird. But yeah, this is my Pilea, and I don't have it directly in front of the window, it's kind of off to the side, so it's getting bright, indirect light. And I did have my other Pilea in front of this window. I think it was too strong, so I decided to move it. But like I said, this one's not getting direct sun rays, it's kind of off to the side, and it seems to be doing great. So this is my Hoya plant. It was sold to me as Hoya Mini Bell, but it looks more like the string bean Hoya. I don't know, it doesn't look like Hoya Mini Bell to me, but I guess we'll be able to tell when it blooms. And it hasn't grown at all yet, but it does seem to like the window, so I'm just gonna keep it here, and hopefully once I fertilize, it will put on some new growth. And if this is Hoya Mini Bell, the bloom should be like a light pink color. Oh yeah, and so the other one's Hoya Shepherdii, but I don't know if these leaves are long enough to be Hoya Shepherdii, so I don't know. It looks like a bunch of different types of plants in this one pot, so I'm really not sure what it is. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any idea. So this guy is my variegated orchid, and unfortunately it got, aphids. I noticed some aphids in its media, so I removed all of the bark, which was unfortunate because I literally just put it in new bark. But it must have came from one of the other plants. And I'm just watering the roots every day. So you are able to keep orchids without any media if you are really diligent about watering the roots. And they'll turn this like bright green color if they have enough hydration. This orchid was kind of struggling a bit, so I chopped off its blooms so it could focus energy on this new leaf. But I ordered some moss from New Zealand, and I got this recommendation from the Orchid Whisperer on YouTube. She has really great information. So I'm going to try to repot this in just moss. I'm not sure if it's gonna do well. A lot of orchids from the store are packed in moss and they rot, like the roots rot. But I heard this type of moss is more light and airy, so I don't know, hopefully, maybe I'll mix the moss with bark, but yeah, maybe I'll make a video and show you guys how I repot my orchid in moss. I will be repotting all 3 of my orchids in this moss just so it maintains more moisture. Right now they're all in bark and I have to constantly water them. And the variegation on these leaves is so beautiful. I love it so much. I got this from Logi's and they run out of them really fast, so I made sure to snag it once I saw it in the store, the retail store. And the blooms are like a purple color. They're really pretty. So this is my Hoya Royal Hawaiian Purple, and it has these little purple specks on the leaves. It's kind of hard to see in this light, but it's really beautiful. And I actually got this from Etsy. I do have a larger one that I'm sure you've seen in my previous tour that is really big and bushy, and it was probably honestly the same price. So I got this one from an Etsy seller. She honestly ripped me off because she gave me like cuttings basically when I was paying for fully rooted plants. But anyway, this one is doing fine and I'm just gonna keep it. I have thought about creating an Etsy site, but I am just kind of nervous because since I've had this pest problem. I'm nervous about sending anything that could possibly be contaminated. So I don't know. I don't want to run into any issues if I sold someone a plant and they have a bug on it. Like, I don't know how to guarantee that it will be pest free. So let me know in the comments down below what you think I should do. If I should start an Etsy and maybe just do cuttings so I can guarantee they're pest free. So this guy is really pretty. He's Hoya Australis terpens, I believe. Not 100% sure on that. And I was really excited when I purchased it because I noticed it has 2 peduncles. Let me try to show you. So you can see there's 2 peduncles, one in the middle, one off to the right side. So I'm hoping it will bloom for me this summer. I was really excited to see that it already had the peduncles on there. And this plant grows really fast. I have another one in my kitchen, and this is a new leaf. My one in the kitchen has 4 new leaves. So he seems to be really happy inside. This is my Easter cactus. So it was really interesting. I kept it in a small pot for like over a year, and it literally grew not at all. Like, it just stayed the same size. It seemed miserable. So I repotted it a few sizes bigger, and it just took off. So all of these leaves on the ends are new, and it just seems so happy in this western window. When it blooms, it's white and pink flowers. It's like they combine the 2 varieties together, and it's so gorgeous. So unfortunately, it didn't bloom for me this year. I think just because it was stressed out from being in a pot that it didn't like. So hopefully it will bloom possibly in the fall or next spring. Not really sure, but it seems to really like this location. So if you have any issues with your Easter cactus or Christmas cactus, check on the root system. I did hear that they do like to be root bound, but that's what I did, and mine didn't seem to be happy. So maybe try, well, first, if you notice that growth is not happening, always check for pests. But if there's no pest problem, then you might want to check the root system and see if it has completely outgrown its pot, because that might help it with growth if it has more room to spread out its roots. This beautiful babe was my Monstera cutting, and it has grown. I think that's a new leaf and this small one. And it seems really happy in this location. I just love it so much. I like when you can take a cutting and just have like a smaller one branch of a Monstera rather than like a big bushy one. I prefer the look of just like the really delicate one branch. But yeah, I think it looks really cute over here, and I like how we already have the Swiss cheese effect. It does take a while for the solid leaves to get the slits, I've noticed. And this one's getting plenty of light, so I know that's not the issue. But it's really happy in this room. And if you're also interested in propagating your Monstera, I'll link the video that I made on how to do that in the top right corner, so you can watch it if you're interested in doing that as well. So this is my Begonia. A lot of people on Instagram think it's like a Pilea or peperomia just because of the round shape of the leaves, but it actually is a type of Begonia. And when I water it, I try to avoid getting water on the leaves. I believe that can kind of scar the leaf. And I think it's similar to like an African violet. You don't want to get water on the leaves. These are kind of fuzzy. So I just water the soil. I have heard of people watering by putting the pot in like a bowl of water, and then the roots can soak up the water from below. But I tried doing that, and I'm not a big fan of that method, so I just make sure I water just the soil without hitting the foliage. And the flowers on this are really pretty. It's really hard for me to show you them right now because they're so tiny, but I'll turn it around and try to show you. So those are the flowers. They're really delicate, like a light pink with a yellow in the middle. And they're really gorgeous. This was full of flowers just a few weeks ago, but they did fall off, but it's really a beautiful plant. So this beautiful guy is my cotton candy begonia. And when this goes into bloom, it's so amazing. It's like these light pink, huge bunches of flowers, and they smell, I think they smell good. They might be the one that doesn't smell like anything, now that I think about it. But this one has given me a little bit of trouble. It had mealybug on the roots, so I hope they're gone. I tried soaking them in warm water, and I'm going to talk about that in my mealybug video, but I'm hoping that killed them. But I also have the diatomaceous earth on the soil, I've sprayed it with neem oil and insecticidal soap to try to kill any potential like aphids that might be on there, because most of these plants in this room have aphids crawling around them, so I'm hoping I got rid of that. But yeah, he's doing really well and he grows pretty fast. And the thing I love about this plant is the leaves don't get really crispy, because I noticed with like the Begonia whitey eye and most of the angel wing begonias, they're really finicky when it comes to humidity levels. And this guy really doesn't get that crispy. Most of the leaves are like totally fine. So if you are interested in getting this type of begonia, I got this from Logi's, and like I said, it's the cotton candy. I believe it's called Jim's Cotton Candy Begonia. I'd recommend getting this if you don't have high humidity in your home and you want a begonia. All right, so moving right along, the next western window in my house is my kitchen. So I'm gonna go over every plant that's in this window. This is my aloe green ice. I got it from Fairy Blooms, and I just love the spots on the leaves. It's such a different type of plant, such a different look. And it doesn't get direct sunlight and it seems fine. So I don't know if this guy doesn't really care. He just likes the bright indirect light because he's kind of off to the side. This is my other Hoya Australis Tenuipes. I'm definitely butchering that name. I do not know how to say it, but these are the leaves. They're like a dark purple color. I'm not sure why these grow in dark purple and the other ones don't seem to, but I'm pretty sure it's the same plant as the one I just showed you in my other room. But he really likes this western window. This guy is another type of Hoya. I forget the name of it. I think it starts with an A, but I'll put the name of it across the bottom of the screen. And he likes this window a lot. He's been growing way more than he did when I first got him. But I did use Captain Jack's Dead Bug, and it got on the newer leaves. And if you can see that, they kind of got pitted and damaged from that spray. So I wouldn't use that spray on any new leaves, just in case that happens. Because I don't want to recommend something and you ruin your plant. That would not be good. But yeah, anytime you use any kind of a spray, it's good to test out maybe like one leaf and see if the plant has a reaction to it. But that Captain Jack's Dead Bug is a bacteria. It's an organic natural spray. So I guess the bacteria, for some reason, did not get along with this plant. So this is one of the first plants I have sitting on my window on the little ledge. This is a mother of millions. My best friend actually gave this little cutting to me, and he's already creating little babies that are on the top of the leaves. And when the baby drops to the soil, it's going to create a whole new plant. So it's a really fun plant. You can give the little propagations to your friends. And he's just really tiny. Like, look at him compared to my hand. He's just a little tiny little babe. I did have him in a southern window before, and he got way too much sunlight, so he likes the western a lot more. This is my variegated zebra plant, and he had more of a red color towards the beginning of the summer, and now he's more of like a lime green. And he really likes this window. He has been thriving, and I got him from Fairy Blooms. And I just love the little lines on his leaves. He's really, really pretty and really easy to take care of. And as with any type of succulent, I always check for mealybugs. They do tend to gravitate towards succulents and cacti, but luckily he has not had any bugs so far. All right, with this guy, I totally forget what the name is. You guys told me before in a previous video, but I forget. But I just love the little tiny white dots that kind of stick out of the leaves. He's really easy to care for. He likes the western light a lot. And yeah, I've had no issues with this plant. He's just really, really cute. I love the chubby leaves. And last but not least, this is my Lithop. And I just wanted to let you know that if you have Lithops, they naturally shed their outer skin. So you can see on this that the outer part of it is really shriveled. And they do that naturally to produce the new middle leaves. So when your Lithops are shriveling like this, make sure you don't water them because it can definitely rot your plant. Just leave them alone. They require very, very little water. I barely water this ever. maybe like once every 3 months. And when they're shriveling, I don't water it at all. And yeah, he is doing great, and I just leave him alone, let him do his thing. Lithops are actually from Africa, I believe. So they really like that bright sun and the drought. They like to be dried out a lot. All right, guys, so those are all the plants that I have to share with you today that are living in my western windows. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them down below. I love to answer any questions you might have. You can also follow me on my Instagram. It's Juju Succulents. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.